Hey.
Well, we're just getting ready to go live.
Oh, are we live now?
We are getting ready.
All right. Right.
Okay, I
Let me
just
know
need to
when you
type the name. Yeah, title required. The
want
business
of menopause, right?
menopause. Yeah.
Am I looking okay? Humanly enough.
You're looking absolutely fine. The shifts. The shifts. Hey. So, and we are ready to go live.
Cool.
And I think we are live.
Oh, that's very good.
Hello,
Well, I
everyone.
see you, so I'm happy.
Good.
That's
I
all I
can see
see.
you. Yes.
So yeah,
Ah, great beginning. Welcome, everyone, to this amazing live interview. I've been so in anticipation for today because I'm super excited. And we have a great topic. We have a great guest. So today's topic is the business of menopause. I know this is a very interesting topic for many of the ladies in this group. So today we're tackling the business of menopause, the shifts, the hype, and what women deserve to know. And my special guest today, it's an amazing friend of mine, Dr. Saumya, who's got so much to share with us behind the scenes insights on the topic. She is a GP. She is also specializes in women's health. And we've got some interesting topics to uncover today. For those of you who may be joining for the first time or have recently joined the group, my name is Rumiana and I am the admin of this group. I'm a business coach and I host events for women in health and well-being. I'm a passionate entrepreneur who is on a mission to help women in health and well-being gain the skills to sell their skills and get their diaries fully booked. Because I believe that if your service or skills are changing people's lives, you deserve to build a business that changes yours. And speaking about business and the business of menopause, I'm going to introduce Soumya to give us a little bit about her background story and how she ended up being so passionate about women's health and how she ended up, being so interested in raising awareness and helping women and this really minefield that has become recently. And this is actually the reason for our interview because there's just so much information out there and we need help. We need the help of people like Dr. Soumya to give us the insights. So, Dr. Soumya.
hey, right. Okay, so that's me. Hello everyone. Honestly, I can only see Rumiana, so I'll be talking to you.
Up to me.
Right.
We are live on
Okay,
Facebook.
so just about me, I think you've already introduced me. I work as a GP and I have my background in women's health as well. And that's one of the fields that I work with in very passionately for a very long time now. Um, and basically, my own struggles with women's health have been quite annoying for the last entire decade, I will say, because even though this is my field of work, this is my absolute field of passion, I've struggled with women's health for an entire decade without the right kind of support, without the right kind of help. So that's made me more aware of what's missing out there at this point of time, and what women really need: someone to listen to them and give them the right direction and advice in good times, so that they don't have to suffer with the same problem for years and years together. And obviously, when you're dealing with health issues for a very long time, it has cascading effects on every aspect of your life, whether that's mental health, your social life, everything. And that's not helpful.
No.
So, sorry, yes.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. So it's not just your professional, calling, but also you've had the personal experience navigating the challenges that makes it even more powerful, and more, it's really a mission that you're on. So thank you for sharing that. And today's topic is obviously menopause, and we can't help but recognize that there is just so much out there. Everybody is trying to give you opinion,
Yes.
insights, advice, and it's really, from tips and advice to the HRT debates, it's everywhere. And it's really, for someone who's trying to navigate this space, it's becoming really overwhelming. So I wanted really to look at this from a different perspective, not to give people more advice and more
Of
information,
course. Mm-hmm.
but just to tap into your experience, because you have so much more insights as behind the scenes, what's shifting, what's happening. You see women every day in your clinic, and you have this access to in much more depth information about what's happening. So really wanted to use this opportunity to give you the spotlight, give you this opportunity to share with us, because we all want to understand a little bit better what's happening behind the scenes. So
Mm-hmm.
my first question would be, what have you noticed? What shifts have been happening in the past 1 year, practically in your clinic, when women used to come to you maybe a year ago? What were
Yeah.
their needs, and what were they asking for help with,
So,
and how things have changed to now?
mm-hmm. So, like you said, I think the most important shift that I have noticed is that over the last, I'd say specifically 2 years, most of the women that used to come into the clinic with a complaint of menopause or perimenopause, they were mostly unaware of what was happening to them. So they came to find out as to why were they feeling the way they were feeling,
Mm,
whether that was the mental health, the constant fatigue, the brain
mm,
fog. I think what was out there and what most people related to
mm-hmm.
was when they had hot flushes. That's the only time that they understood that they were going
Yeah.
through menopause. But everybody else, and there is a different, I'm not sure how aware people are of the definition of perimenopause and menopause, but menopause is a specific time when you stop having the eggs release, and that's just defined as a frame of time in life. But perimenopause is the actual problem that I will talk about today a little bit more. That's a phase of a few good years, and it could extend to almost a decade as well, where the
Right.
hormones are constantly shifting and they're going up and down, up and down. They're not constant. It's not like a constant slope that's going downwards. And that's where people start having the majority of the symptoms that they come to you for, where they feel
Mhm.
absolutely confused as to what's happened to them. And especially professional women who are like, because we are living in an era where many women are working, right?
Yeah.
And they are in jobs where obviously they are very high demanding jobs as well. So the constant brain fog or the
Mm-hmm.
mood swing or
Yeah.
their inability to concentrate at work or not being able to associate with their colleagues and boss and deal with the daily dramas of life the same way hits them. And they're constantly in a phase of like self-blame. So that was the kind of situation that I was dealing with, where they came absolutely lost at one point of time. But over the last, I'd say, couple of months, I probably just maybe more than 3 or 4 months now, the major shift that has happened in the people who are coming through the doors is that they're hyper aware of the fact that they're going through perimenopause. And it's not that they're coming for an answer as to what's happening to them. They're coming for a solution now. They want, and let me be honest, most of them come with a demand, not even asking for a solution, because that's what they've heard on the internet. That's what everybody is advertising. So they have a list of things that they want for them without realizing that not everything is a good fit for everyone. So it's not like, there is a package of hormones that you can hand over to one single person and say, here you go, that's it, and that's what you need. So
Wow, that's I think it's a big realization, right? Because unlike, let's say, you have urine infection or you have
mhm,
anything, you go to a doctor, they're likely to prescribe this antibiotic. Or
yeah,
for a specific condition, there's a pathway. Okay, we'll give you this, and that's how it's fixed. And what you're describing is, first of all, the awareness of perimenopause, that, it's all this constant fluctuation, and it could take a long time even to get to understand what's happening to you. And nowadays, with all this information out there, what leads to women being fixated, choosing, okay, this is for me, this solution maybe is for me, picking this ideas because they've been sold to them, and then coming to you saying, well, actually, I think I know the solution. I want this
yeah.
and this and this because, well, there's Google, there's ChatGPT these days.
Yes,
Who needs
there's
a doctor?
an
Who needs a doctor
yes,
when you
and
get
may I say that I think the biggest trouble is when people Google their symptoms, and that Google used to be the only challenge at one point of time when people had like Googled their symptoms and come to you like, according to this, I'm almost dead. But now what happens is that there is this huge social media buffet that you have out there, and you don't know what's real, what's not, and what to accept, what not to accept. I It's honestly, from a medical point of view, it's a little bit frustrating, but from a non-medical point of view, I think it's overwhelming and confusing. So,
absolutely. It is.
and I
It is.
understand, I mean, we talk about this daily, that there are people who are buying everything that's available out there and nothing seems to be working still. So initially it was just the frustration of not knowing what's happening to them. Now it's the added frustration of spending the money, wasting the time and energy and effort, and still not getting the solution. So it's not helpful.
No, it's not. And I've fallen into the trap myself because I did share with you some time ago when we spoke about the supplements that I've used. And because I was kind
Yeah.
of battling with fatigue. And you're right, when you're a professional, when you still have to hit your targets, you need to get through the day, you need to maybe, you have so much hours in the day, you've got to be productive, you've got to
Yeah.
throw up at your peak. And if you're starting to sense some changes in your body, you kind of, oh, I'll quickly get multivitamins, I'll get these supplements, or buy this nutrition or this quick fix or this. And like you say, you trust
Of
the noise
course.
out there because there are a lot of it's a business, a lot of advertisement going around, and you buy this, you buy that, and actually I've wasted a lot of money. But it's not even about the money, it's that being left feeling even worse because you
Yeah.
just don't look for a solution. And actually, I wonder if anyone else who's listening, if they've ended up buying a supplement or something, a solution, a quick solution that was sold to them at maybe on social media, or they saw a nice advertisement anyway, also of someone else recommend that worked for them, but it didn't fit them. It's interesting to hear if any of our amazing community or ladies who are watching right now have had such experience, and or if they have a question around this, please feel free to drop it in the chat because Dr. Saumya can go through after the questions after the interview and reach out to you or just answer in the chat as well. It's important to raise awareness because this is why we call this interview the business of menopause, because
Yeah.
we sold we have something that it's a natural a change in our body, and instead of being not just informed about it but being really having a trustworthy way of
Yes.
reaching for help, we're being sold, so we're
Yeah.
being monetized on, right? And that's so frustrating, beyond frustrating, actually.
Very understandable. And I think that people shouldn't blame themselves because, in all honesty, they have done what they have done, whether that's buying a supplement or a solution in goodwill for better health. So that is like a proactive attitude towards like trying to help yourself. So I wouldn't blame people for buying all these things. I mean, the people that I actually blame are the ones who are marketing it. And the
Yeah.
ones who are marketing it, we must remember that a whole lot of them are huge pharmaceutical companies. And these companies 90% of the times don't care about anybody's health. What they care about is big numbers. People are
Yeah.
not like people to them. They are numbers, and they see a gap in the market, a gap of, you know, what they say basically the requirement and what's available, right? The demand
Oh, yeah. The
supply
demand
gap.
and the supply.
Absolutely.
It's business,
Absolutely.
right? It's
And they are the
business.
ones who find it the easiest to actually get approvals of all sorts because they've got big pockets.
Yeah.
So they are the ones who are biggest at advertising.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what everybody sees. I hear all these ads about on the radio every time I'm driving to work that everything is available under the label of menopause, even in the high street big brands. And it's not funny in any way. And what I have seen, and in my understanding, again, 95% of these products that are labeled specifically towards the menopausal market are all crap. They don't help. And I'm very sorry to say that, but it's unfortunately only marketing gimmicks. It doesn't really have
Yes.
any kind of an evidence-based medicine behind it.
Yeah. And I think that reminds me of another brief chat we had, and we spoke about how they monetize on the fear, which is a human
Yeah.
natural way to drive action.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
monetize on that, and especially when you're at your low and more vulnerable, when you're experiencing these changes and you don't know what's changing. This is not like you're navigating, like I say, an infection that you've got a week off or you've got flu for two
Yes.
weeks. You don't even
Yes.
know what's happening initially, and then you go from not knowing to maybe knowing this, too much information overload, and that throws you back into that spinning, overwhelm, like you grabbing things and you're grabbing, reaching out for things to buy things that are the most kind of pushed in your social media feed, because if you
Yes.
click one thing,
Something
we
that's most in your face, I would say.
know what cookies do
Yes.
on yourself. And it's not fair. It's not fair to being using fear to do, selling, but that's what they
Yes.
know, and that's how they sell.
Yes.
So
Sadly, terror is a business, right? That's
yeah.
that's the way it is. And unfortunately, I've heard people say that it has become like the wild, wild west of menopause, where anybody is doing anything that they please. There are no laws to govern anything or any kind of products that are out there in the market. So everybody is having a good time, but it doesn't help the consumer or the women who are actually suffering because they are being monetized on and they're
Yeah.
not really getting the support that they deserve,
No, that's the
which
biggest
is,
thing. That's the
yes,
biggest, because we are ready to pay for solution, but if it's really centered, because we know how, I've worked in NHS, it's always all centered on the patient, right? You try your best with what
yes,
you've got. Whereas, like you say, because this is like, it's quite broad. I mean, the word menopause, it's a buzzword. It
it
sells.
has become a buzzword. Yes,
It,
I
it, it,
think
it
it was the most ignored part of life for women, unfortunately. And
yeah,
now it has become the buzzword. And that's what everybody's marketing
yeah.
on. That's what
As long as
everybody
you put
seems
the
to be
label
capitalizing on.
on a
Yes.
bottle, a label on, I don't know, something that claims to be, helping. So it sells. Wow, I think that's just been really interesting to hearing that. But also have another question, and it's related to the first one. It's all about HRT. So what's really happening
Mm.
around HRT access? It's something that I'm really not that much familiar. I wanted to hear a little bit about behind the scenes information on that, prescriptions and that.
So I think HRT, I mean, again, it's not for everyone, but NHS has done a brilliant thing by actually making it more available, more affordable for the last few
Okay.
years. So I think this was April 2023 that they'd actually lowered the prices on HRT, and now there's something like a prepayment prepayment card, like where you have, if you have multiple medications that you're on for certain diseases, you can get an annual prepayment card. And it's the same thing that they've done for HRT as well. So if you're on more than, I believe, 2 or 3 HRTs, then it's more affordable to get that annual card, and you can get your HRT on that. So it's, I think, more cost effective that way. So that's a very big step by NHS to help people who are on HRT, or for more people to be able to
Yeah.
like afford it if they really need it.
Yeah. Wow. And for someone who is not really familiar, you get to book an appointment to see your doctor. What other ways are there to access or get support with that?
Sorry, I didn't quite understand your question. So
My
did you mean
question
that
is for
what are the difficulties that people are facing?
yeah, the
Yeah.
the ways to get prescription, is it through your GP to get?
Oh, okay. Yes. So, yes, the prescriptions, if you're talking about the NHS prepayment card, yes, the prescriptions have to be the NHS prescriptions that we're talking about. They
Yeah,
cannot be private prescriptions, but there are two ways of going about it. I mean, obviously, I know that as brilliant as NHS is, there is a huge, again, the demand and supply issue with
yeah,
NHS where we're struggling. There is, we're falling short on the services. And
mm,
that's a very big problem, that everybody is not getting appointments. I know there are frustrations at the patient ends. I know there are frustrations at the end of medical staffing. Both of
yeah,
us know that how burnt out we get while we're working within the field as well. And despite that, not everybody is able to get an appointment in good time. So um, if you are able to get through to your GP and get an appointment, make sure that you're getting a proper assessment. Don't
mhm,
go with the agenda of
yeah,
getting a list of hormones prescribed. My urge to everybody who's listening or who listens to this later on is that make sure that it is the right fit for you and you're
yeah.
getting what you need and not what you want. That's the thing.
And it's, yeah, trusting a professional and trusting someone who has your best interest, and actually gets to hear you first, right? He gets to see you and hear what you're going through. That's Thank you for that. There's been another topic around menopause that I keep hearing many women kind of express struggles with, and that's weight management, and that, and
Yeah.
there's quick fixes with that. There are people who offer, nutrition, which is like holistic way, but or maybe just they offer, let's say, just weight loss in terms of trying to have a specific program designed for weight loss, or the weight loss medication that is out there. And there's links in between all of this. So I just wanted to hear your perspective on weight management and with the weight loss prescription medications as well. That's another buzz at the moment. Just give us a little bit
Yeah.
of how do you piece all
So
that together?
I think weight loss is an evergreen topic. And that's probably the favorite topic for all pharmaceuticals and a lot of other people out there as well. I think what's happened is that a whole lot of pharmaceutical companies jumped into the opportunity of selling certain kind of drugs, and there are certain drugs which have come in the recent times that are more effective and more useful and have lesser side effects compared to most others that have been in the past. And I'm talking about GLP-1, right? And a whole lot of pharmaceuticals actually jumped into it. And what has happened is that they have very liberally provided this at a lower cost
Uh-huh.
online to a huge number of people. But they never really, like I said, that it's only about numbers to them, right? They have advertised it, they've sold it, but they never really actually got around to empowering people as to how to build a good lifestyle around it and how to
Mm,
wean off these drugs. So, what has happened is that a lot of people, and I was listening to a few interviews just when, so thanks to the fact that the GLP-1 prices were on a rise because of some of the countries that are supplying them and the
mhm,
issues that have been going around globally. Um, a lot of people have been feeling this fear and frustration of the fact that they wouldn't be able to afford it and that life is going to go back into an absolute spiral downwards where they don't know how to deal with their own health without the support of GLP-1 or any other drug that's out there. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, that's a similar thing that's happening in the menopause market as well. Now, I'm not against the drug in any way, but I'm against the way that these things are marketed to people, whether that's HRT, whether that's GLP-1, or any other weight loss medication for that
Yeah,
matter. We recognize the fact that because of the hormonal fluctuations, it's harder for people to lose weight just because of the insulin resistance and other things that happen during the hormonal fluctuation in menopause. But again, it's more important to advise people about the actual core value of lifestyle medicine and what they need to make, even if you get momentary support from medications, and if they benefit you in a certain way, as to how to regulate your life or build a lifestyle with that support so that you can wean off from those medications in good time and still lead a healthy and more fulfilling life.
life. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly it. And again, that's why we're looking at menopause from different angles of of the information, the supplements, the HRT, the weight loss, because all of it, it's a business, right? And there
It
just is
has.
increasingly pressure of all those things everywhere. Like you say, even from high street, supermarkets, or you go to places and you see these things being marketed, or you go online, you're just scrolling and you see these things popping in your face. And it's
Yeah.
so easy when they find you at a moment, maybe you've had a bad day or you've just
Yes.
struggled with something and you just click on it. I mean, like I say, I've spent hundreds of
Oh
money on
no.
supplements that is it just ended up not what it was, but because
Yes.
it's just getting that thinking, oh, this sounds good, oh, I think this is packaged nicely.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
grabs grabs your attention, but you haven't had that opportunity to have consultation with an expert, with a
Yes,
professional who takes the time to look at you holistically and check, like you said, the lifestyle, where you're coming from, what's happening in your body, what is it that you want to achieve long term, and how is that affecting what's costing you? Is it really mostly on your mental side of things? Is it physically? So
of course.
important to look at how important it is to go beyond the flashy, shiny objects that are selling and
Yes.
understand what a woman who's navigating perimenopause and menopause really needs. So this is really important to have this broader look.
I think
So
this is a stage of vulnerability for women.
it
I
is,
mean, and that is what is being marketed on. And unfortunately, that's not how I would like to see things out there. And
yeah.
again, I think people need to be empowered with the knowledge of what's happening to them, what's
Mhm.
out there, what do they need to be cautious of, and then where and how to get the right support as well.
Yeah. And this exactly was my kind of leading to the last question. From being a vulnerable place, we can turn it into empowerment to have
Absolutely.
better lifestyle, empowerment to have better nutrition, better taking care of our physical and mental health, better relationships, really to pay attention. And if we look at ourselves holistically, find the right answers, not just the quick answers. So I
Yes.
wanted to ask you, you mentioned recently you've been 2 days ago, I think you mentioned you've been to a conference before the
Yeah.
interview to me. So I want to hear what is the kind of the latest things that you're hearing that's happening in the world of medicine, and what do you have access to that many of us don't have? And what do women really need to know about the big shifts in the system, and what's happening out there? What support women should be looking for these days to receive around
Right.
menopause?
Okay. So, like I said, I think the biggest shift has been towards the lifestyle medicine. When I
Yeah.
say lifestyle medicine, it means like a holistic viewpoint of anybody, including your diet, your sleep, your exercising levels, just the things that you need to cut out on in life. Simple things like alcohol or excessive caffeine and increase more water intake and things like that.
To me, you're talking to me. It's disgusting.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, it's just, so I think lifestyle medicine is probably the way to go, where the medications out there are obviously there to support you and they have their distinct benefits for people that they work right for. I mean, obviously, HRT is not a good match for a lot of people, but it is a beautiful match for some others. And it works well. And it does give the added benefits of like the bone protection, the heart protection, because estrogen is one of the hormones that all of us, the women function on
Yeah.
majority of our life, right? But like I said, that it doesn't work for everyone. I have seen people who have really suffered with the medicine as well and who've never really settled down with it because it wasn't the right match for them. And they insisted on certain kinds, which was not working for them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I think the empowerment, the information of what's available, what's the best match, and
Mm-hmm.
getting the right kind of support from a
Mm-hmm.
person who's aware of everything that's out there and how to match that correctly to you as well is most important. I understand that not every professional as well, and I'm really sorry that I'm saying this because I know a lot of people from the medical fraternity are not going to be happy about this, but again, not everybody is aware of how to deal with menopause or treat menopause.
Mm-hmm.
And the huge part of that is because menopause was never a topic that was being taught to us when we were learning medicine. So a
Right.
lot of us
Okay.
are self-taught, or we've learned from our own places of difficulties. And I think some women are a little bit better aware of what's hitting them because obviously we go through the hormonal fluctuations ourselves. So if people feel that they're not getting the right support, there is a good reason for it, that it was never really taught to the medical professional as well,
Mm-hmm.
who's there to treat you. And that is why sometimes, it comes from a place of ignorance from the other end as well. But again, coming back to the point that you asked me, what are they supposed, what should they look for? I think holistic
Mm-hmm.
viewpoint of how
Mm-hmm.
you need to make a shift in life, and it's not easy. It's I know because we had to give up on a lot of habits that we've held for a long time in our life, but it's for the good, and we know that that's the way forward for a healthier lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
That medicine is the way forward is what I would like to say to sum it up. But again, um, we've talked about doing more workshops about awareness, right? And we'd be having more talks here as well.
Yeah.
And people, I'm going to ask people to like put in what is their burning question on the topic of menopause
Yeah.
and supplements and what's out there and what have they actually fallen trap to,
Mm-hmm.
so that we are able to understand as to what are the questions that people have and address them a little bit better directly, instead of like just giving them information that either they
Yeah.
don't need or
Yeah.
they're not interested in. So we can definitely do that. From the advances point of view, obviously there is a lot of things that are being looked into as to how HRT and GLP-1 can help people.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that it's not for everyone, but that is a consultation that people can definitely have and see if this is the right match for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think my takeaway from this is uh there's a lot of information out there.
Mm,
Whereas before maybe we are lacking that information. Now there's a lot of information, and that in itself has become a problem of its own. And with the overwhelm of easy access to Google, easy access to different podcasts, easy access to ChatGPT, you can Google, you can get some advice. But with that extra information, is that serving us or is that harming us? How do we translate that? Because as someone who maybe has just obviously experiencing symptoms and finding some information that sounds relevant, I
mm,
think the question is, what do you do with that information? Do you go and apply that and try to get that solution yourself? Or like you said, people now coming to your practice and say they're demanding a solution because they've figured out or they've seen this, offered and they think that's the best for them. I think so. My takeaway is just don't rely on information or especially more information. Seek someone who can help you make an informed decision of what is the best solution for you. It's good to be informed, but also, getting that solution matched for you is really crucial. And not everybody else can do that. I think you have to have the broader, deeper understanding of the medical really perspective of things. Like, for example, my mom has suffered breast cancer. So, just knowing all of those other complexities of when you're looking for a solution and look for the right solution of the right source. So I think that's kind of the biggest takeaway for me. I'm interested if other viewers can share their takeaways and their comments as well, because ultimately we want this to be, an invite for people to reach out, and not to feel alone if they're stuck with any of this, but to reach out for, just for to you, and to share anything that they're finding difficult maybe right now. If they want to get, your insight, they're more than welcome to drop a message in the chat as well. And what's your
Not
parting?
being able to see any questions at my end. So if you can see, let me know, and
There
yeah,
was
I'll be
two
happy to
comments earlier.
answer.
Yeah, there were two comments earlier. I'll check quickly before, but I wanted to invite you to share, for you to share your kind of parting words with the audience.
Right. Okay. So, like we discussed, that we will be holding more talks
Mm-hmm.
about menopause. And um, basically, I think what we've discussed today is about the hype that's out there and what people should know, what to dodge and how to dodge, and take away the right information, but not excessive, and don't fall trap to the marketing gimmicks, right? But I think what we need to discuss at this point of time is how can they take the corrective measures to
Yeah,
make, to empower themselves, and what is it that the lifestyle changes that they can make when it comes to diet, sleep, just exercise, and what's the right way to exercise as well, and what are the kind of dietary changes that they can make in their lifestyle to help with the overall experience. And obviously, because like you said, that it's not like flu that it'll come and go in like a week's time. It's
mm-hmm.
a phase of life, and you may deal with it for a decade, for a few years, for 2 decades. So it's important to make that lifestyle shift so that you are able to go through it with the kind of grace and happiness that you expect out of life, right? So we'd be holding more talks about the same. Anybody who has any questions that they'd like us to address in those
Yeah,
talks, I'd like them to send them to you, and then we can go through those together later. And I'll be doing a workshop as well very soon. So I'm
yeah,
just collecting more information and feedback from people about the same as to what is it that they'd like to hear about in the workshop, so that
love
we can direct it, because it's such a huge topic, like you said, and
exactly.
it's not one thing that you can talk about. So there's lots out there, and I'd like to talk about what's most relevant to people and what they want to learn about, instead of like confuse them with more information. Because
That's
I
not all
think the
good.
overwhelm out there is already quite enough. So yes, so the plan is to do more talks on the platform,
Mhm.
and people are more than welcome to send us a message, send you a message, and
Yeah.
just keep your eyes peeled for the next one that comes up.
With the workshop. I love that. I've just checked the comments. There was, I think, two comments that they were just saying how this resonates with them, and how is it all about the lifestyle, the look at holistically things, not just a quick fix, not just quick supplement or quick this, quick that, and getting to look at a woman's journey of what's happening, and what's affecting her the most, and looking at holistically how that can be addressed. So I love the idea of you inviting people to contribute. So you want to give more value through the workshops, but to be aligned to what people feel like they want more of. So we invite everybody else. This interview will remain live in the group, and please join in. If you can watch it at any other point, please do, and just drop in the comments what you find that resonated the most, what you find that's too unsure of, what do you want to know more about, not just as information, but as empowered path, or tools for solutions. So looking to provide not just information, but solutions that can help you take those informed decisions for your own health, to claim back your health. So we don't just experience menopause or perimenopause as thing that oh we just wait for to be told more information and to be sold, but we take control of the decision making. But it's empowered decision making. We make the right choices for ourselves, not just what's sold to us, right?
And I think one thing that I'd definitely like to tell women that if you are over 38, 40 years of age and you're experiencing a sudden change in your lifestyle where you feel that constantly fatigued, you're feeling like you're forgetting things, there's a brain fog, you're finding it difficult to concentrate, you're having these mood fluctuations where you're not being able to understand as to why are you so snappy, irritable, why aren't you being able to take the same things you did from your partner, from your children, from your boss, the way you used to with a pinch of salt. Then
Saying that trying to kill you or thinking of killing your husband is not normal.
absolutely not. If you want to drive a knife through someone without a reason, then then
Yeah,
it's then don't think that you're going crazy. I think that's the time when you need to seek some professional help to understand what you're going through and whether there's, something that you can be helped with, whether that's hormonally or with mental health support or with, whatever else that's available within the medicine and the advice that you can be provided in that phase. Because 99% of the time, women are going through a perimenopausal phase in that phase of life, and it goes unrecognized or it's misdiagnosed as just a
yeah,
mental health problem. I mean, the mental health arm of it is a very big part, but yes, I mean, it's not to label people as they have a mental health problem. That's something that we can, definitely talk to them about.
yeah, yeah. I like that. So not feeling bad or guilty or ashamed is ask for
Mm-hmm.
help so you can understand better what's happening to you, what suddenly is changing. So you get that support and understanding. And you claim back your the the fulfillment and quality of your life because you're right, when we're so busy fulfilling different roles in our lives as professionals, some of us as parents, as partners, you've got so much pressure. You kind of almost put yourself last on the list, right? And it's about having that pausing and saying, you know what, I think I need to go and speak to someone who is professional who can help me understand why I'm feeling this way and what could be done holistically. Oh, thank you
Yes.
so much for this. I'm taking away I've had a lot of aha moments here, and I hope everyone who's listening now will be listening later has also had, some nuggets of aha moments, understanding the broader picture of what's happening out there. And, if you are someone who is struggling with certain things that's, related to perimenopause or menopause, don't hesitate to reach out to Dr. Saumya just to connect, and maybe it'll be great to then follow her and the amazing work she's doing. Like she said, she will be doing workshops, diving into more depth of specific topics, and you can contribute to that by just posting in the chat what is it that the most kind of concerns you, what do you want more um, information that is really science based and is really something that could really help you. So please don't hesitate to drop a message in the chat. But thank you for this. It's been great pleasure having you here. I look forward to hearing more.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you and everybody else around. And I hope that we hear more from people and, people reach out and
Yeah,
tell us as to what they liked about today and if there was something that they really want to talk about. Happy to do that.
exactly. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about serving people and helping people.
Yes.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Speak
All
soon.
right then.
Bye.